What have you got yourself? Supposing, if Ray has to say something, oh, mother saw a light and this happened and that happened, she has these powers, those powers, it's all useless. What is it to you? I may be the king of anything, so what does it matter to you? What has become of you is the important thing, and for that becoming, if I say there is everything placed within you, I have to prove it, that's all. This knowledge is not unknown to us, actually. It's all being described from the time of Moses. Like he says the tree of fire. Now what is the tree of fire? Nobody knows. They just say there was tree of fire. But if you see the Kundalini completely enlightened, if you can see, it really looks like a tree of fire. And then it is said also in the Bible that I will appear before you like tongues of flames. Now what is that? No one explains, nobody knows. These tongues of flames are nothing but these centers when they are enlightened. You see them just like tongues of flames. But you need not see them. Because when you are outside the pavilion, you can see the pavilion. When you are inside, you don't see, you just see the hall. And that is why one should understand that it is not what we think should happen, but it is what will happen actually we should accept. So first we should get rid of our misidentifications with our ideas. That this will happen, that will happen, and this should happen, I should see a light, I should fly in the air. There are many people who are paying money to fly in the air. It's absurd. Why do you want to fly in the air? I don't understand. They are paying much more money than they can for that, than they would have to pay to go around the whole world. I really tell you, by plane if you travel, it won't be so expensive as you are paying for this flying business, this flying squad business. And what is that? We have to understand. What is that? When we go for this flying, what are we getting into? And this method of mesmerism is so subtle that you cannot understand. You just go on into it. Like the same flying squad business. We had a gentleman who was the director of the academy, down with epilepsy, his wife down with epilepsy, the child down with epilepsy. And they all came down to me, they lost their houses, they lost everything, penniless. This is what has happened to the flying of the whole Jew. Now, one must realize that you cannot pay for your evolution. You cannot pay. It's very simple to understand. As I told you yesterday, that if you pay to this flower, will it become a fruit? It's a living process for which we cannot pay. It doesn't understand money. Living processes do not understand money. I have not known any human being, supposing he is suffering from indigestion, he puts some money there saying that now I pay you my stomach, now will you digest my food. Do we do that? In the same way, it is the highest of highest living processes for which you cannot pay. It's a very subtle thing to understand for a human being, because they believe that for everything one has to pay, otherwise it doesn't work out. You see, you go to a machine, you want to have a good, say, machine, you must pay, which works. You see, it doesn't work, you can have free. But the one that works, we have to pay. Any motor car is free means it's all a junk. You can't have it. You will have to pay to take it to the junk shop. So it is always in the minds of human beings that one has to pay. And this is very wrong, that you cannot pay. I am talking of the processes which are beyond human. The human beings are not doing. For example, we cannot transform a flower into fruit. The living process itself is beyond human reach. But when you become a superhuman, you can handle it. And this should happen to you. If it does not happen to you, all the rest of the things are wrong. I am telling you with great concern, because the people who are in the market, who are selling goods, are doing it very well. They know how to entice you, they know how to put ideas through you, how to give you misidentifications, and you just get identified with them till they completely drop out. And then you are left high and dry. You say, oh God, what has happened? One thing is there, that your spirit is not lost. It is there. Despite whatever the mistakes, whatever may be the seeking, but the spirit resides within you despite everything till you live. And this spirit is to be brought into your conscious mind, means into your central nervous system. You should feel the powers of the spirit in your being. This is what is Sahaja is. Sahaja, as he must have told you, means born with you. Now yesterday I told you about the left side, which is the power of desire, and through this power we have our all conditionings and all the receptions from the matter, materialistic things, and also what you can say, we collect all our past. And the past then extend up to the collective subconscious. I also told you yesterday that cancer is a disease caused by the left side extreme behavior of people. Those who go to the extreme behavior on the left side get the disease called cancer, and it can be cured if you can bring such an extreme case in the center. It can be cured, no doubt about it. Now the second side is the right side, which today I have told that I will tell you about. The gentleman is not here who asked so many questions. Is he here? He was just busy asking questions, that's all yesterday. He's not interested in seeking, I think. Alright. Now the second side, on the right hand side, is the power by which we act. First we desire and then we act. Now this power, right side power, is expressed within us as right sympathetic nervous system. Science has come from the same. Science is in the gross, these are all subtle things that are within us. Now this right side power, which exists within us, gives us the power for our mental and physical capacity to act. Now this action takes place when we desire something, we want to implement that desire, then we go into action. One has to understand what sort of a power is this. This power is called as Prana Shakti in Sanskrit, Prana. And the another one, the left one, as Mana Shakti, is the power of the emotions, or can say of the mind. But you see, English language is not so clear cut about it. So I would say Mana Shakti and Prana Shakti. These are the two powers that exist within us, and we start using them as left and right, we can say like a brake and an accelerator, and then we become the master of driving. But while becoming that, we make mistakes. The human mind has a speciality to go to extremes. Supposing I tell somebody, now you have to meditate. They'll meditate for 5 hours. There is no need to meditate for 5 hours or anything. But if you tell them that you have to stand on your head, they'll do it for 10 hours. So there is no need to go to extremes. We have to be just in the center, be kind to our body, be kind to ourselves. There's nothing to be frantic about. There's nothing to be so much exasperated about it. It's just very simple thing that has to happen. For example, think of a seed which is sold in a very loud music, or say a place where everybody is rushing, shouting, screaming. What will happen? That seed will never sprout. If it is in a peaceful place, is a properly placed one, or not in a tilted pot, then it will definitely develop into a beautiful tree or a beautiful shrub, whatever it has to develop into. In the same way, if we are too much on the extremes, we go to the left and to the right. Now going to the left, I told you yesterday what happens, that all these things like hypnosis and ESPs and most of these gurus try these tricks, you see, like they just make you hypnotized and people become absolutely mad over the guru. Oh, he's our guru, and they behave just like absolutely people without any brains. So I feel nice with it. The reason is that you feel there's a sort of a sense of security built in this gentleman, and if I'm following him, see, he's going to heaven and I'm going with him to heaven. It doesn't happen like that. You have to individually go into heaven yourself, and you have to become your own guru, and you have to know everything about it. It's not that anybody can put a trailer behind and put some people into it and say, now come along, I'm going to heaven. Most of these people are really going to hell, and you will follow them very fast. So it is never so, believe me, that anybody who says that following a certain guru will go to heaven is absolutely wrong. You must follow in the principle. And every guru who is a real guru will always tell you that you have to become something. He will never just say, all right, you've given me the money, all right, you are the member, now you are my child, now you are my disciple, and I give you my love. Let's have love. Where is the love? And give more money, give me Rolls Royces, give me this, give me that. And like mad, we are doing it thinking that we can exchange this. Now, as we are seekers, we have every right to find our spirits. And we are not to be deluded by any such tricks and pranks of these people, or I would say very sinister methods that they are employing. Not only to deceive you for money. I don't mind there are smugglers, let them have money what they want to have. But they spoil your chances of realization, which you do not realize. And once they are spoiled, it's very difficult to give a realization. And if you do not really positively work it out, it's going to be an impossible situation. I've seen people who have suffered on account of this. Now this action within us acts for our mental and physical capacities on the right hand side. Like we think of the future. Now we're planning, we start. It's planning. Now we must do this tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We have to do it, and we start sitting. Now I'll go there and I'll find this, and then I'll take a ticket, and then I'll go there. I mean, our mind is working for the future. So much so we become absolutely futuristic. To such an extent, sometimes I have met people who are futuristic, they even forget their own names. Can you believe it? I mean, they don't even remember their father's name, that's all right, but even their own names they forget. I mean, they are like mad because they don't remember their own names and they don't know where are they, what are they doing. I have met people of that kind who are really sick people because they have become so futuristic now that they do not know anything about their past. Now, this futuristic behavior starts in a society where people always think of the future. What will I do? What am I to do tomorrow? What am I to achieve tomorrow? And all these things, when they start doing, their attention goes to the right extreme. Now, in this place, we are very dangerously placed when we start looking for the future. And the future seeing is a imaginary stuff. It's absolutely imaginary. Because what you think of the future doesn't exist. What exists is the present. You have to be in the present, not in the future. But people will say you have to be in the present. But how? We cannot. Either we are in the past or in the future. Because when the thought wave rises, it comes up and goes down. Another thought wave rises, goes up and comes down. Now, this thought wave which comes up, we go with it, but we don't see it's going down. Another thought wave that rises, we see that, but we don't see where it goes out. And so we are jumping on the cusp of these thoughts and we do not know. Perhaps we are in the past or perhaps in the future. But in the center of these two thoughts, there is the present. And we don't know how to take our attention there, which is a very difficult thing. And just to say that you should be in the center is not possible.